So you may have heard the news back in April that the Washington Commanders had finally fulfilled the fans' wishes and sold the team for a whopping $6 billion after years of turmoil in the organization. However, one piece of news that was not reported correctly at the time was who the team was being sold to. It was initially reported that Josh Harris had bought the team, but that is not the case. Instead, the team was bought by me. That's right, me. You might look at me and see just a super small Madden YouTuber, but what you don't see is that I've got stacks on stacks of cash. But why would the NFL keep the purchase of the Commanders hidden, lie about it? Well, the answer was that the sale of the team wasn't quite as simple as it seems. You see, not only were the Commanders to be sold, but they were going to be relocated as well. And Roger Goodell wanted to keep that under wraps until all the finer details of the relocation could be finalized. Roger Goodell has long had his eyes on the London market, and the NFL has had annual regular season matchups there for years. Expanding a league based entirely in the USA across an entire ocean is no simple feat. As owner, I agreed to have my team relocated to London for a hefty price, but not everyone else in the organization was quite as willing to move across the pond. Particularly the players. The entire roster of the Washington Commanders stood firm, side by side, refusing to relocate their lives. Well, that was certainly problematic. After many hours in conference with the NFL owners and the NFLPA over many weeks, we finally came to a solution. Initially, the NFL pushed for an expansion-style draft to fill out the roster, but the NFLPA refused to uproot 53 of its players until leaving the country. So eventually, I was forced to agree to the small consolation prize of a single first-round pick in our first draft to help build the roster from nothing. That's right, we would start with 0 players on the entirety of our roster. With that, our team would forfeit the 2023 season and begin play in the year 2024. But what would happen to the players currently rostered with the Commanders? The best of them were to be handed off to the other teams in the division, while the rest would be released into free agency. However, all of them would still have their full contracts paid by the league. With that bit finally out of the way, it came time to discuss team branding. After much consideration, the branding of the London Black Knights was agreed upon by all the decision makers for the organization, and it came time to fill out a new coaching staff, as our former head coach and his coordinators were among those who refused to make the move. So with that, we decided to hire Lewis Smart as our general manager, with former teammate George McLean to be the head coach of the brand new football team. Both were players that had legendary careers for the San Antonio Express, a team that I was formerly the GM of, and they eventually became all-time greats for their respective positions. We then allowed Coach McLean to conduct his own hiring process for his coordinators, who will be revealed at a later date. Being forced to start with a roster of 0 players gave me the perfect opportunity to use a team-building strategy I used with the San Antonio Express, which is the draft-only strategy. I can only add players to the roster via the NFL draft and undrafted free agency. So with that in mind, it came time to nail down a scouting staff and begin researching for the momentous 2024 NFL Draft. And we've made it. The 2023 NFL season has just concluded. We've done all the scouting. ready to show you a class that I think is very exciting and has the potential to be very good. But before that, we got to talk about the 2023 season, which just ended. As I mentioned previously, the Eagles have won the Super Bowl, which, if you can tell by the jersey over here to my right, it looks like it's on my left on the camera here. I wouldn't be mad at an Eagles Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the main award winners here as well. Patrick Mahomes is your MVP. No surprise there. Mike McCarthy is Coach of the Year. All right. Offensive Player of the Year is Cooper Kupp. Hoping they dumped him down here in Madden 24 just a little bit. It was way OP. Him and Godwin were way OP in Madden 23. Von Miller is your Defensive Player of the Year. Bijan Robinson is your Offensive Rookie of the Year, with Julius Brent, the corner out in Indianapolis, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I am covering it up right now, but Jalen Hurts wins Super Bowl MVP for the champion Eagles. Let's go, baby. Rebounding after the loss to the Chiefs the previous year, but not only do you want to see the award winners, but you kind of want to get a good feel of the landscape of the league in general. And this is our first real chance to see how the sim stats are going to be here in Madden 24. That's obviously a big portion of the game is sim stats. You got one quarterback over 5,000 here with Patrick Mahomes. He is your MVP. Only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's still maybe a little bit high, but it's better than last year, over 4,000. In terms of touchdowns, only 2 in the 40s. 4, 5, 6 more. So 8 total in the 30 plus touchdowns. I think we're in a much better spot than we were last year. I'm liking what I'm seeing here a lot. Interception leaders, ignore him. We were forced losing all of our games on the schedule. Baker Mayfield threw 22 though. Jordan Love with 19. Let's go ahead and take more attention and give some props to the top 5s in each category. Mahomes, Prescott, Burrow, Allen, Kirk Cousins round out your top 5 in yards. Touchdown wise, Mahomes again, Prescott again, Burrow again, Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers tied with Lamar Jackson there. In terms of completion percentage, if you ignore all these guys, Hurts, Mahomes tied for the lead. Jackson always has high completion percentage. Allen and Prescott is your top 5. Rushing now. Let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Running backs over 1,000 yards, probably a little bit high again, but it's not terrible, I would say. Barkley, McCaffrey, Mixon, Jacobs, Taylor are your top 5 rushing yards players. In terms of touchdowns, Damian Pierce led that category with McCaffrey, Harris, Barkley, and Chubb, with Walker tied with Chubb for that 5th spot. Rushing touchdowns are always going to be a little bit high, and I think that's just fine. Kupp with 1,900 yards and 21 touchdowns. I've seen some other seasons simulated, and this seems like his best year. This has to be like this isn't happening every year. Better than average year for Kupp. If this is another Madden where Kupp is doing this every year, it's going to be a pretty big disappointment, honestly. Yes, I know he's been insane in real life the last couple of years, but it just loses immersion when one player, kind of like Luka Doncic in NBA 2K23, winning MVP on like 35 plus point triple doubles every year, just loses immersion, right? When just one player dominates every single year. So hopefully this is a one-off with Kupp. We don't see it every year. I mean, he's leading the NFL by 600 yards almost, which is not something that I'm hoping to see very much here in this franchise. Kelsey, Lamb, Gallup, and Olave round out your top 5 for yards. Kelsey being number 2 is kind of cool here. And also 5 more touchdowns than everybody else with Lamb. Richie James Jr., all right. Shout out to him. Devontae, a couple of Devontaes here. Gallup and Kelsey are tied with Devontae for that 5th spot. Blocking the most sacks in the league, given up by Charles Cross. And ignore that. So the tackle leader this year was Tremaine Edmonds. And Jermaine Pratt, Robert Spillane, Matt Milano, and Divine Diablo. TFL leaders: Crosby, Jones, Bosky, Simmons, Donald. With sack leaders being DeMarcus Lawrence, Aaron Donald, Micah Parsons. Two of the top three are in our division, by the way. Chris Jones and Jeffrey Simmons. In terms of the most accurate kickers, it was Zerline, who missed just one, tied with Lutz, but the most field goals made this year was by Eddie Pinheiro by a lot. Punters, congratulations, man. You guys are awesome. Let's see if there were any touchdowns. It looks like there were 2 punt return touchdowns, both in the NFC West. So that's all I had to take care of in terms of what happened. This kind of the story of the 2023 NFL season. I'd say overall, I think the stats are better than they were last year. My one big worry is that insane cup year just absolutely blowing everybody else out of the water. I hope that's more of an anomaly. From what I've seen, starting with some people kind of doing early rebuilds on the game, it's not a typical season from Cup. Hopefully that is actually the case. But that's all I've got in terms of housekeeping and 2023 season stuff. Let's finally go ahead and talk about this draft class, because I think it might be a good one. And we're here. Roster has officially been cleared, and it is time to start talking about how we're going to add to it here with this first draft class. I talked about how I thought this class could be fun, had a lot of potential. At the top of the class, though, we have an interesting situation. Justin Lamb is the number 1 player on the board. We have the number 1 pick. We need a quarterback. Taking a look at Justin Lamb, not going to be much of a mover here. No poor speed, but has a cannon of an arm. Really accurate, doesn't really throw on the run. He's a pocket passer. I'm interested in Justin Lamb. And we tried to bring him in for a top 30 visit, and he refused. His agent said he is not interested in coming over to London. He's the last expansion team with the Houston Texans, and what that situation did to David Carr, and not interested in that for his client. And apart from that, I don't love the top 5. He was kind of the only guy that I thought was really worth this top 5 pick here. There's a couple other guys that I like. We'll talk about Will McClendon now, who's probably now, if we were to stay at 1, my favorite pick. Good athlete, not an elite athlete, and I do like those elite athletes. We also don't know what his finesse moves is. We would need to have a finesse moves for me to even consider him here. We don't know that. But he becomes a prime candidate for the extra scouting period here in the offseason. Keith Terry is the other guy here at the top of this draft that I think is at least worth a consideration. 21 years old. Again, above average, good athlete, not an elite one. Good route runner. A short, medium, B deep with a spec catch as well. F injury, though, is what's really making me hesitate here. So that's 2 players that I like, but I don't love, and I'm going to take a guy that I don't love with my first pick in the franchise history. We go down a little bit more. There's a guy here in Winthrop who I like, but the first player that I love in this class is Jamal Arnaud. 6'3", 251, and check out this 40 time. 4.35 in the 40. Elite strength, speed, jumping, good change of direction, great agility, great acceleration. You know, for his size, having good change of direction and great agility is really good as well. And then look at this. This is looking like a generational middle linebacker to me. A awareness, A in both of his coverages, A play rec, A hit power, A impact, B block fit tackle, and has the little maybe power move potential. This is a guy that looks impeccable, and it's a guy that we could trade down for. The real question with Jamal Arnaud is not the strength of him as a prospect, but the strength of using our first pick in franchise history on off-ball linebacker. You know, in real football, I would never do this, but in Madden, it's a different story. Positional value isn't the same as it is, you know. Having a really good middle linebacker plays a really, really big impact in Madden, and that speed is that's gonna be even higher than 90. We're talking probably 91, 92 speed with all that coverage, and still a really good, he's like an elite coverage linebacker, a really good run stopper immediately. Currently slotted as 12th. He's gone up one spot here. We could trade down to, you know, 8 maybe and pick this guy up. Very intrigued with that option. So now that we've kind of gone through what I'm thinking of at the top of the draft, let's go position by position, find the players that I've kind of circled in that I like in this class. After kind of being denied by all of the quarterbacks in the top of the draft for visits, I started really honing it on more maybe round 4 and beyond picks here. We got 3 guys that I think are worth a look. Dwight Hutton is the first, 127 pounds, 22 years old. Another guy with a cannon of an arm but can't really move. B deep, and we don't know his other accuracies, but they're B to D, so they're pretty average. Not very aware and can't really throw much on the run, so he's okay quarterback. Now, Randy McCoy, absolute unit of a man. 6'3", 293 pounds. This is one of the specialty builds in Madden that they introduced that are pretty dang rare. I never got it in Madden 23, and I did dozens and dozens of draft classes if you include what I didn't do on this channel. Never found one, but we found one here in the first class of Madden 24. Great throw power, but obviously he's slow. 5'5". 5'5" in the 40-yard dash is nuts. C awareness, C deep accuracy. We don't know his others, but they're not looking good. I mean, this guy's going to be really bad. But the thing with these specialty builds, if it's the same as Madden 23, what they had in Madden 23 with these specialty builds, high chance for normal dev, high chance for superstar dev, but low chance for star and X factor. So we have a guy who has a high chance for superstar who's not good at football, let's be honest, but we get a superstar dev quarterback. We've never had a normal dev quarterback. We've had quarterbacks better than McCoy in each of our draft only franchises from Madden 23. Neither of them had hidden dev, and they were both eventually replaced, so maybe McCoy could break that mold. And a third guy here is George Young, another guy, cannon of an arm, can't move, but he's got at least a little bit better of an accuracy standpoint than these other 2 guys, but his awareness is at the worst spot. So I think 3 intriguing options, probably just for the content. I would say Randy McCoy is my favorite of these 3, and that probably put him at the very top of my board, didn't it? Yeah, I don't want him all the way up there. Let's put him somewhere down here. But there we go. I guess Dwight Hutton's back ahead of him again, but whatever. Randy McCoy is my favorite quarterback here. Not a ton of running backs that I liked in the draftable range. I didn't look super deep into the potential UDFAs for this position just because I feel like running back is one of those positions that you can get good UDFAs at. And if there is a chance to get a good UDFA, we probably got to take it this year because it seems really bad. The one guy that I think would maybe be worth drafting instead of trying to get in UDFA is Dom King. Now, 6', 234 with an elusive back play style. Not going to be much of an athlete here. That's not what we'd be drafting him for. It's just the fact that he's really big and well-rounded, and the fact that he's got some power to him, some elusiveness as well. Hopefully, you know, we can develop a little bit of athleticism here with his upgrades. That would be the one guy I'd watch out for at the running back. Raheem Shirt, he's a good player. I'm not going to take him if we're being honest. Let's move now to wide receiver. A few guys here. This is the position that we scouted heavily. So we have guys that we like all throughout the draft. We'll say early on, a guy that I really am keen on taking is Doug Odom. 6 foot, but 214, so he's a unit. He is 23 years old, but he's got great speed, elite change of direction and agility, great acceleration, a juke move, kick return, stiff arm, run block. Route running's more average, right? But he's an elite after the catch kind of receiver. And I don't like 23 years old, but I just think he's my favorite receiver here at the top because of course Heath Terry would require a top 5 pick, but this is a guy we could get late first, early second that I like. And then Keelan Favors here is a round 1 to 2 talent. Another 23-year-old player, but he's 6'6". Not a great athlete, but he's got good slot receiver archetype. The only problem is I feel like if we drafted Odom, he'd probably play the slot for us because of his run after catch ability. So probably going to come out with one of these two guys, but probably not. Tight end is a class that I honestly don't think we're going to be taking a tight end here. There's a couple guys that are fine. Joe Ford maybe if we can get some extra picks on day 3 would be worth it. He's pretty good athletes. The only problem is all of these ranges look good. A to C catching, A to C run block, A to C short route. The problem is we don't actually know any of them. If they're C, he's terrible. If they're A, he's awesome. You know what I mean? So unknown. If we can get some extra picks and becomes very low risk there, and on day 3, we can take a swing on him. The tackle depth I'll show you in this class is pretty terrible. We go from round 1 to 2 to UDFA, and then we go from round 1 to 2 to one guy on day 3 and then UDFA. There is no tackle depth in this class. That being said, there is one guy that I really like at the top of this class. That's Cade Lowry, 21 years old. Feels good after looking at a couple of 23 years old guys, but he's elite in terms of his strength. The only problem is C to F injury, man. A couple of guys that I like in this class just have really low injury, and Madden did talk about adding highly injury prone players into the game this year, and that just makes you nervous. A couple of good pass protecting guards here. I'd say between the two I like Barkley more. 21 years old, above average athletes. C to F injury though, another guy. But my favorite offensive lineman in this class by a mile is Christian Edwards. He is 21 years old. He has elite speed with above average strength and just a really all-around good player. This is by far my favorite player in the class. For some reason, he went down 81 ranks throughout the season. I don't know why. This guy's awesome. Center only size, unfortunately, is 6'1". But he's my favorite player in the class, as I've already said multiple times, and I should stop saying it now. I do like Shivers here as more of a mid-round guy. 21 years old again. Big deal, especially for offensive line. Above average to good athletes. And doesn't have good lead block or run block power, but other than that, he looks pretty good and probably worth a look in the mid-rounds. And then, yeah, tackle's pretty bad. I will say Eddie Cortez as an UDFA intrigues me, or like a 6th or 7th round pick. I'm probably willing to spend on him as well. Above average athlete with at least intriguing skill set. He has a lot of E to Fs though, so probably, if he's there in UDFA, we take him. We have, I would say my favorite end here is Earl Harrison. He has A power moves. He is 23, but above average speed. He doesn't have the strength, but we'd be kicking him out to outside linebacker where that wouldn't matter as much. Once again, F injury. It's a common thing in this draft, man. Then another guy, 5'11", 258, pretty much born to move out to outside linebacker. And my voice just cracked. A little bit better of an athlete with that elite acceleration and agility. And his injury is actually A to C. with A power moves and A to C finesse. Can't shed a block. Pretty much a DPR early on, even though he'd probably be a full-time starter because of the state of our team. But long term, you're probably looking at a DPR, but maybe a really good one. He is a guy that I 100% am focusing on starting in like round 5 to make sure that we try to get this guy. My favorite probably UDFA in this class for sure, and maybe my favorite day 3, but this guy here has a bit of something to say about that. Warren Owens, he is elite ranked with 46 reps. Not much of a speed athlete, but he's a true nose. We're running 3-4 on this team. I don't know if I've said that already in this video. You need that nose, and I think Warren Owens can provide that for us. A tackle, B awareness, B play rec, the elite strength. That's the kind of nose that I want, and I want to get that established early. I don't want to be allowing 200 ground yards on the ground every game, you know, and I think defensive tackle, a good nose tackle can certainly help us with that. Already talked about McClellan. He is kind of my, I don't know if I'm taking either of these other guys. Middle linebacker, a couple other guys that I like in this class. One here is Larry Morgan. He's just not a good athlete, but he's a pretty well-rounded guy. I'd say he's a run stopper with some coverage capabilities. Max DeBose here is the opposite. He's more of a coverage guy who needs to work on his run stopping, but he is another elite athlete. He's a 4.53 and not quite, you know, the caliber of athlete of a Jamal Arnaud, but you know, in the San Antonio Express, we paired our middle linebacker tandem in year 1, and I think it ended up working out for us, so I wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. Rayshon Sharp, he's fine. I don't think we're going to take him. I was just looking for somebody that could provide a speed rush a bit. He's got good acceleration, B, finesse, but finesse, a speed rusher wasn't a very good class for that. Corner, I think the guy that I am a little bit keen to draft here because I like a lot is Malik Vincent. He's 6'2", B zone and man, and he is an elite athlete. And so doesn't have any elite skill sets, but his elite skill set is his athleticism. So he's going to be available late first, early 2. You have a second first. He's one of the guys on the short list for that. But the other guy on the short list is a little bit tough to pass up on. Keontae Simmons. Keontae is the younger brother of Kevon Simmons, who played running back for us in the San Antonio Express franchise and did a heck of a job of it. He won so many Offensive Player of the Years throughout his career, was a big play machine. Probably my favorite player to ever use her in Madden history was running back Kevon Simmons. And now we have a chance to draft his brother here, who decided to go to USC, elite athlete. This profile looks pretty much exactly the same as Arnaud's at linebacker, and we have a chance in this draft to solidify the middle of our defense, right? With a linebacker, with a safety. This guy, he can play slot corner, he can play dime backer, he can play everything. At 6'2", 225 pounds, you bet he can play dime linebacker. So a super versatile piece for a defensive head coach. Top 5 talent guaranteed. There's a really good chance we could come out of this draft with Keontae Simmons. There's a couple other safeties that are also really good, but let's be honest, in this range, I'm taking Keontae Simmons. Eric Waters is a good kicker, C accuracy, but he's got good power. And that's really it for this class. I'm ready to get it started. Before we do that, I will show you the end of free agency and kind of who signed where from that. But now that we've got this draft preview done, let's go ahead and actually get to the draft. A couple of things here to do before we hop into the draft. The first is to see where various players went in free agency. It looks like the Cowboys, our division rivals, lost a major piece in Tony Pollard going to the Vikings. Vikings getting aggressive in this free agency. Rashawn Gary going to them as well. Tyron Smith to Tennessee. So 2 big losses by the reigning division champs. Amari Cooper, goodness, the Vikings, man. Vikings and the Titans are the only teams to have made signings up to this point. The Texans entered the chat with Mike Williams. Chiefs getting Christian Wilkins is scary. Titans going again. So Titans and Vikings, the theme of this free agency, and it continues here. Ridley re-ups with Jacksonville. Odell to Carolina. Sweat to the Cardinals. Eric Armstead, the Texans. Amos here on the move, along with Peters, both to the Lions. Leonard Williams to the Bears, along with Luvu. Singletary gone. Williams gone. Byron Jones to the Colts. Devin White. You see our division get in the mix in free agency here with a very good Madden linebacker in Devin White. Vikings come up here again and again. So, man, Kansas City beefing up their defensive line here by a bit. They didn't make the Super Bowl this year. They clearly weren't happy about that. But main storyline as far as the division, Cowboys losing 2 big-time players, and then the Giants solidifying the middle of their defense here in free agency. But with that out of the way, we are going to get to mock draft 5, and this is going to be the last thing we will do before the draft. Now, I warn you, our pick is going to be not correct. They want us to take Dwight Hutton at number 1 overall. Spoiler alert, we're not doing that. I think I just spent some scouting on McClellan. Want to see McClellan. Want to see where that finesse move is. If it's at A, that's tempting. We could still probably trade down as he's getting picked at 8 here. If not, there's a guy who's not getting picked until 12 here, so we could pick pretty much anywhere in the top 10, trade down to, pick up some extra draft capital, and still get my favorite player in the class, Jamal Arnaud. I also want to see where, so we're projected to take 2 quarterbacks. Nice job, man. Not going to happen, obviously, but Keontae Simmons isn't projected to go till 28, so he should safely be there with our second first round pick, maybe even within a rate up of our 33rd overall pick. Honestly, I want to see if that corner that we really like is going in the first round. Doesn't look like he is, so I think we have a really good chance to get my 3 favorite players in this class, but only time will tell. Let's hop into the NFL draft. Welcome in, everybody, to the 2024 NFL draft. We are on the clock at number 1 overall, and I am going to start looking at trade down offers here. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I do want to kind of use this trade value chart as a metric here, but these picks are, this is better than you've been getting in previous Maddens. A lot better, actually. Wow. We might not need to even, I really like this Lions offer, and they're probably going to take the quarterback too, right? You'd imagine they take the quarterback. So it seems like trading down is giving you a lot more than it has in the past, which I do like. I wonder if that in turn should make trading up harder, which was my big concern about Madden 23. Trading up was way too easy. Trading back didn't give you nearly enough. Looks like that's been fixed here. Like, this is a good package. This is like a realistic package for what a team would trade up for to get like the best quarterback in the class. Maybe even still a little bit under, but I'm fine with it being a little bit under. I just don't want it to be egregious like it has been in the past. I like this Lions offer a lot. Get another pick at the top of the 2nd round here. Get a first next year and get 2 late round picks for this year. I love this pick from the Lions. They want to trade up and get their guy in this class. They're willing to give up their 1 next year and a lot of their draft this year for it. Respect their decision. I think that first quarterback is pretty good, and so I think it's a good move by them. They go for the tackle instead. Okay, that's fine. You know, you do you. I thought you were trading up for the quarterback. Is 2 1s and a 2 allowed to trade for a tackle? It sure is, but if he's better than I thought he was, I wasn't particularly impressed with him. I thought he was a good player, not a top 5 pick. Could be really solid for the Lions here. Jared Atkins going at 2. I thought he was overrated edge player. Darren Poole I did like, but he went high. He was actually projected to go at the pick after our now. Justin Lamb does get picked at 4 by the Vegas Raiders. QB1 off the board, and I do think that's a good quarterback pick. I think Vegas got a good one there. But here at 5, we got the extra value that we wanted, including 2 in this draft and a couple late round picks, which I like. Now time to take my favorite player in this class, Jamal Arnaud, 6'3", 251 pounds, 21 years old, from NC State. Elite athletes. Welcome to the squad. We've got hidden dev. We've also got 93 speed at linebacker. 91 acceleration, 85 agility is really good. 83 jumping is good at linebacker as well. Change of direction at 77 is good for generated linebackers. 81 strength is outstanding. Incredible athlete. Arnaud is a guy ready to impact and lead a defense right now, I think. He has good coverage ability. It's going to be easy to develop. Elite coverage linebacker with a really good run stopping complement to that. Got a chance to be a generational type linebacker and become one of the best in the league before too long if we develop him correctly. I'm really excited about this pick and seeing him hopefully thrive in the middle of our defense. All right, let's start up with the continuation of this draft. We're gonna get Tyler Winthrop. Thought he was a good edge rusher. Wasn't ever realistically gonna take him, but I think it's a good pick. He was more of a guy I really liked and I didn't love, and definitely wanted to start this, franchise picking a player that I loved. Will McClellan, I actually didn't even check to see if his finesse ended up being A. We'll check on him after the draft for sure, because that was the kind of decision. It was McClellan versus Arnaud. Forgot to check back up on him just because I felt like even with a finesse moves, I still was going to prefer Arnaud, honestly. But we'll see if that was a bad decision here after the draft. Chad Banks, really good safety. Really good safety. If it wasn't for Keontae Simmons, the younger brother of Kevon, I think he's a pretty similar caliber, honestly. I mean, we would have had a pretty high on our board, but if they're similar, you're going to take the younger brother of somebody who's already on your channel, right? Bryce Mixon here. Dolphins going O-line. Vikings, they add Rodney Graham, the defensive end, to the league's best free agent class, bringing up the New England Patriots. They go offensive line. Cardinals, they went DT, maybe a little bit of a reach viewed by many, but they'll go offensive line. Helping the trenches, that's a team deep in a rebuild. Helping the trenches is always a good way to start that rebuild. There are 2 secondary players that I really like at this spot. I think they're both somebody you could trade down for them. Just talking about where they are on the available board, yeah, they're pretty far down here. Now, picking up this extra pick, maybe that puts Cade Lowry on the board for us. If he didn't have bad injury, I would honestly really consider it. I do think building on the Lions early is important. This was just not the best draft for it, honestly. C to F injury could be C, and all of a sudden we're talking about a really good offensive lineman. That's F, though. That's really unfortunate. Guaranteed top 5 talent in Keontae Simmons. Definitely want him. He was going at 28 in the mock draft 5, but we also picked 2 day 3 quarterbacks in that mock draft. You probably got to project more mid-20s. We could trade down a little bit, maybe pick up another late round pick in this draft. And then the other guy I really like, turns out I did more scouting on Anthony McKee. He's not quite as good as I thought he was. Malik Vincent we can get 3 top 5 talents on the defense in this class, bro. I mean, how do you not? Elite speed, good height, Really good cover, not an elite coverage player yet, but an elite athlete with really good size. I'm gonna see if we can trade down just a few spots, pick up, I'm talking like a third or a fourth. I'm not trying to get too much. Maybe we do get more than that, but I want to see these offers here, as trading down is a lot more incentivizing in this game than it has been in quite some time. So 21, we can get a fourth. There we go. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I want to see if there's anything better before we just flat out accept that, though. There's not. So we're going to accept this offer. You know, a team starting from nothing, we need assets. So this is the kind of offer that I was hoping to accomplish here. Pick up another decent pick in this draft, nothing too fancy, and get in a position to draft Simmons here at safety. I could just imagine like PFF just giving our draft like a D because we drafted an off-ball linebacker and a safety in the first round. But Madden's a different game, man. Those positions just matter more in Madden. And had really good safeties in the past that haven't exactly been super impactful on the defense. When we draft Simmons here, that's going to change. I am not just putting this guy back deep where he's not going to do a bunch. This guy's probably playing the slot. This guy's playing dime backer at 100%. And then he's obviously going to get some snaps deep as well, but we're putting him all around the field, giving him a chance to be really impactful, which I think he can be for sure. 6'2", 225, elite athlete. Welcome to the squad. Deontay Simmons, hidden dev, 2 for 2 so far. 93 speed, 92 acceleration, 91 agility, 91 jumping, 89 change of direction, 75 strength. This is a guy who can do it all at the safety position, and we're certainly going to ask him to do it all. Gonna build a custom defensive playbook, and in that custom defensive playbook, he is gonna be all over the field. Slot, linebacker, deep safety, everything. He could do it all, and we're gonna ask him to do it all. He is an awesome player, and I'm excited to get him here into the squad. For our next picks, we have a couple of picks here at the top of the second round, and I have my two guys that I want already nailed down. I want to see how likely it is. So taking a look, we have 33 and I believe that's 37 or 38, something like that. There's two guys that I really want with those picks, and I'll tell you who they are right now. One is Malik Vincent. I thought for a minute it might have been McKee, but it's not going to be. The other one's going to be Doug Odom. Hammer in the defense early. We need a playmaker, and I think Doug Odom's going to be that. Those picks are... I think we should be able to get both of these guys. Let's see how many receivers are ahead of Odom here. 2. We might have to trade up a little bit, particularly because these guys aren't good. They might actually fall. Might be needing a slight trade off from like the 5th pick in the... We might try to get back-to-back picks to the top of the second round. So maybe we have to give up that 4th that we just got. We'll see. Jelani McCrary goes. That's one of the receivers ahead of Odom. San Francisco goes tackle. Chicago goes right end. So the Chiefs have really bolstered up their lines. They got some defensive line depth of free agency. Go offensive line in round 1.
The Chargers are up now.
Atlanta go on defensive line. Chargers go safety. It was a pretty good safety class, honestly, at the top. As soon as I saw a guy with the last name Simmons and I could create the storyline of him being Devontae's younger brother, it was Raps though, and he was actually a good player. That was Raps easily. Okay, Eagles here will go Cade Lowry. Maybe already planning for the succession of Jordan Mailata, but drafting O-line before they even need it is definitely something that the Eagles would do. So we have 2 of the next 5 picks, and we have 2 players that we really like. We'll talk about who's more likely to go in these next picks. There's no corner ahead of Malik Vincent on the board. There is one receiver, but he's terrible. So I feel like they're both the top available players at their positions. We might try to trade up into round 2, pick 2 to ensure we get both of these players. But with Malik Vincent being a guaranteed top 5 talent, we have 3 of the top 5 players in this entire draft class. All on defense, we are starting to build hopefully the potential of an awesome defense. All of these guys, great size for their position. Vincent may be a little bit light on the weight, but great height at least. Elite athletes. All around skill sets. Normal dev for Malik Vincent. No. Are you kidding me, man? But I mean, this is an easy, you know, dev up, and this guy's all of a sudden looking through the roof. Normal dev hurts getting our first normal dev this early. I was hoping we could extend our in-depth streak just a little bit longer, but I do like Malik Vincent, even with normal dev. Guaranteed top 5 player, elite athlete. I think he's going to have an excellent chance to develop throughout his career pretty easily. So the Buccaneers, I do want to try to trade up for this pick. See if it's a cheap trade up. Might even prefer to trade like a next year pick if it's possible. So how much is it going to cost? I do want to look at the trade draft, the value chart here to see how close they're asking for it. So 38 to 34 is a difference of 40 points, which is the equivalent of pick 132. So this second, fourth should do it easily. In fact, this fifth should do it. So according to the draft chart, this is equal value for the Bucks here. I was looking for Bucks instead of Buccaneers, which is why it took me a minute. But this is equal value. I'd be willing to get. Okay, so equal value on the trade chart. They do accept it. They'll take the fifth just to move down a couple of spots. There's not somebody they're particularly enthralled with here. While for us, it's time to add to the offense here. We've done an excellent job creating a foundation for our defense. We have nobody on offense yet. That's going to change right here with Doug Odom, 23 years old, a 6 foot, 214 pounds, great athlete with elite change of direction. He's going to be an awesome run after the catch guy. Welcome to the squad, Doug Odom. And another normal dev, dude. No, this is too early in the draft to start drafting all these normals, man. Gotta be kidding me. I feel like in Madden 23 we had some insane hidden dev luck. Madden 24 not off to the same start, my guy. Oh, come on. 2 hiddens and 2 normals. We're still Madden 500. We're in the MLB. We're chilling right now, right? Let's start to plan for our next pick. Got round 3, pick 1. So we're about 30 picks away. Let's start looking at guys around 25 picks away that we really like. Blake Hill, I do like quite a bit. He's another guy who's center only size though, and I like the other guy more, and he's available later. So not Blake Hill, not him. No. So Rajon Shivers is probably gonna be a guy who goes late second, but I do like a lot. I do like Rajon Shivers a lot. Wonder what it would cost to move up, 12 slots there maybe to pick him. I also like Max Castle though. He might be there still. I think we simulate. Here to round 3, pick 1. Hopefully one of those guards is there. If not, we might be in trade down territory. But I'm not gonna. I'll go slowly through these first 2 rounds, but then I'll pick up the pace after that here in this round. Bucks going quarterback in round 2 here with Justin Ruiz. Isaiah Driver going. We did like him. Cassius Cheek. Felt like he was solid. I think he just missed making my board though. He was more. It's okay. Julius Wilkins. Anthony McKee. Really liked him until we figured out he was only around 2 to 3 talent with our 100% scouting. Vikings go QB in the second. So a couple of quarterbacks in the second who might become the long-term options for their squads, might not. Is tough to say. And Pearson to Houston here, bringing up Super Bowl champs Philly, picking for the Saints here. They go Blake Hill, so I think that's a good pick for Philly for sure. Continuing to go for the Kelsey replacement. Jurgens is a right guard in this game, so I can see why they would go center. Depending on their sizes, I might flop them though. Put that guy. I think that guy was center only size though, so we'll probably keep it where it is. Sam Woodard. He's a solid tight end. I wouldn't say he's anything spectacular. Floyd Mackey. I think we had him on our board as a pretty good zone corner. Bibbs. So we still haven't seen the guard that we really like go off the board. Now we see him, right? I had to mention him, didn't I? Rivers is gone. This is very risky. Still advancing. We might lose out on the other guard that we like for sure. Want to get back on track and get a hidden dev here after a couple normals in a row to start the second. I think offensive line is going to be probably the spot to do it.
On the clock now, it's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Getting close to our pick now. Castle goes Saints, bro. I don't want to lose too much depth in this class. We need a ton of swings of the bat, but that is rough. We're maybe talking about a trade down again now. Harry Sermon to go with Trey Sermon on Philly. I don't know. They probably didn't even keep Trey Sermon, to be honest, through the cuts. I don't think the Eagles will in real life. All right. What's our board looking like? A trade down. We're 15 spots in, and we got to our first guy that's on our board, and he's not even somebody that I love. Yeah, definitely a trade down. Pairing another linebacker here, I wouldn't mind it at all. There's a good chance both of those guys are normal though, and then we're talking about guards in that 4th round. So I think trade down is easily the spot here. There are a couple of pass protecting guards that were a little bit worse than the caliber guards we just saw, but I think both of these guys are worth taking. They're both late 3 guys, so we can pick up another day 3 pick here for this year's draft, or even like maybe a late 3 this year plus a 3 next year or a 4 next year. I wouldn't mind that either. I do want a 3rd this year though, for sure. And nobody's offering it. Here we go. A 6th. A 5th and a 7th. You go to 81. 81's what, like 17 picks away, something like that? Indianapolis Colts, you got yourselves a deal here. So, yeah, we're gonna start now, probably going quicker through this draft now, and we'll make this pick here. Now, I think it's important to start investing in the offensive line. There are a couple of picks I want to make there. I think it's important to start. Let's talk about the picks we have left in this draft. We have 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th. Okay, I like where we're at here. Just kind of planning what we're gonna do. We go guard here. I definitely want to draft this center with our probably one of our 4th rounders. Then we could go DeBose. Get a sick linebacker pairing year 1. That's very tempting, honestly it is. Other guys in consideration, I really like King. We definitely need to take a quarterback. Probably more of a 5th round guy. Joe Ford I'd be willing to take a swing on. I definitely want Lambert. Definitely want Lambert. Probably Harrison as well. Definitely want Warren Owens. So fourth round, we're probably looking at Warren Owens plus Edwards to quarterback in the fifth. And we might start consolidating up some picks. Okay. I think we've got a game plan. And the game plan starts with taking one of these two. Let's see. Michael Jackson. Be good name value for the team for sure. Above average athleticism, good strength, good speed. C to F injury, really good pass blocker, really bad run blocker. I think they're really similar prospects. I think we know Barkley is F injury though, while Jackson there's a good chance. So Michael Jackson's a little bit better of an athlete. So they're both C to F injury actually. This guy's got better impact blocking. This is a tough position actually. I think they're both 21 years old. I'm just gonna go for the slightly better athlete. That's what we're gonna do. Yep, that's the plan. Please give me hidden dev for Michael Jackson. We've got hidden dev. We're back on track, baby. 87 strength, 69 speed, 82 acceleration. He's gonna offer some great pass protection from the guard spot. Definitely a work in progress in the run game. But that's certainly something that's easier to work on. I like upgrading, agile and power a lot better than I like upgrading pass protector. So I'm gonna be feeding this guy his appropriate upgrades all throughout the year. Getting hidden dev is really, really big. And our first hidden dev offensive player of the franchise. Time to now get to the fourth round, which we will do right here. Here in the fourth round, we are going to take that center. Gonna try to go back to back on the offensive line here. Hidden dev, awesome players. Christian Edwards, the top available center, the really last draftable one left. If you want to guarantee him, you got to take him here. And oh, he's hidden away, dude. Incredible athlete. I hate taking like awesome athletic offensive linemen, but they're hated. They're normal. Sorry, I hate it because a normal dev offensive lineman is a death sentence. It is. It's a death sentence. That's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Round 4, pick 21. The pick here is pretty obvious for me. It is going to be Warren Owens. Absolute mammoth of a man here in these mid rounds. We're hammering the trenches here. I wanted to do it earlier in this class. It just wasn't a great class to do it. 46 reps at the combine. Seeing all three of shedding, finesse, and power. Good play rec, good tackle, good awareness. I like Warren Owens a lot here. Hidden dev with 97 strength. The purpose of drafting this man is to muck things up in the middle. We've invested in safety and linebacker and a really good nose tackle who commands doubles, who mucks things up in the middle, makes their jobs so much easier, and that is what we got Warren Owens for, and I think he's going to do a very good job of that with this hidden development. Now going to round 5, pick 17. Looks like we didn't have our own 5th round pick. We had somebody else's this year. That's fine. Who do we take here? There's some guys that I really, really like. We need a quarterback. Randy McCoy is the last option at quarterback. We're taking him. But if Lambert is gone by the 6th, I'm going to be pissed. I'll just tell you that. We might trade up for him. Lambert is the last guy very passionately filled that we need. In depth for Randy McCoy. I think that means superstar. That dude is chunky as heck. Randy McCoy, 21 years old, 6'3", 293 pounds. 92 throw power. 53 speed with 58 acceleration. I don't know how his acceleration isn't lower than his speed, dude. 61 change of direction. He's a terrible, terrible quarterback. Well, we're gonna be a terrible team next year, and watching this chunky dude chuck balls downfield is gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a blast. All right, back-to-back hits here. I think we have a chance to maybe do Ben here if Lambert is still available. With round 6, pick 1. Will you allow me to pick a player? The game's frozen. No, it's not. Dude, this game is molasses right now. Lambert is still available. He's the pick here. He's the last guy that I really felt like I needed to get in this draft. Hey, Power Moves. We are 3 hit-ins in a row. We're on fire on day 3. Started with a normal, but a really athletic offensive lineman. 3 hit-ins after that. Probably all start. That's fine. Getting star depth anywhere on the roster this first year is really awesome. So we still got more picks in this class. I feel like we did a good job of just getting swings at the bat, which we really need here in the first season. Just getting these guys on cheap 4-year contracts, gonna be money. What do we got? So we got a guaranteed round 1 to 2 talent at receiver. The problem is he plays a slot, and that's where I want our dude to play. Really change direction. He's all slot. F injury, A short route, C medium, F deep. He's a round 1 to 2 talent. I think you just take him, right? Few linemen that I like on both sides of the ball, a couple of corners. This guy's got B, man. Is he an athlete? I might take this guy, honestly. Has no zone coverage ability. B, man. We're taking Antoine Weber here. Normal dev, but 92 speed, 6 foot, 192 with B-man coverage. I'm taking that in the 6th round all day long. Still have 3 7th rounders to do with what we want. There's a lot of projected UDFAs left on the board. But, yeah. I think that's a good pick. Didn't get that running back that I kind of liked, the 230-pound elusive back. But that's fine. So we basically lose out on that receiver. I think the skill set was pretty redundant with guy we took earlier, though, that is escaping my name. Sick looking fullback. Why not, man? Let's go in the fullback. We're on fire, dude. 24 years old, man. Whatever. I picked a couple of older guys in this class. Like, picking a 23-year-old at the top of the 2nd round is something I never did. We needed an offensive player, and I felt like he was the best one. That's what the reasoning was, but wasn't ideal. But it is what it is. I think we're gonna take that kicker with our last pick, so we have a chance to get 1 lineman. Let's go through these 3 linemen, see which one we like best. 23 years old here. Elite acceleration, solid and good. Okay, Mitch Jennings, worth a pick for sure. Let's look at these other guys. Jennings beats Cortez. Let's talk about Cameron. Ooh. We might actually not take this kicker. I think we're taking both of these linemen. I'm gonna go Jennings first and then Cameron after that if he's still available. Hopefully he is. Please say he is. I probably should have taken the other guy because this guy's 23 years old. He's normal. That's fine. I was expecting that. This is just a good 4-year contract. Please say that the other tackle is there. If not, we're going to take the kicker and it's fine. It's going to be a not great tackle. It's not going to be Because no, it's not going to ruin the draft because we didn't get the guy we wanted at 7-17, you know? We got almost everyone else. I think the only thing we really didn't get that we wanted in this class was one of those guards, around 2 to 3 guards. He's normal dev as well, but really good athlete. I like that pick a lot. So now kickers are partners. We'll sign one in UDFA. It's not that big of a deal. Not going to probably be kicking that many field goals in high leverage situations this year anyway. So what's the point of getting that kicker? This draft is over. We had a ton of picks. I don't know how long that just took to record. But I am going to update these guys' accessories, numbers, faces, stuff like that, and then we'll take a look at the ratings. We'll see in a minute. And here is the draft class. Looking really good at the top. Let's go one by one. Jamal Arnaud, 79 field general run stopper, 78 pass coverage, 93 speed, we already knew that, but 86 tackle, 83 pursuit, 73 zone off rip, 74 block shed, 94 hit power, ladies and gentlemen. Both of his, pass rushing moves are in the low 60s, 63 man, 83 jump, 95 injury with 94 stamina. This guy is the perfect prospect. I can already tell you right now, I'm not going to regret picking him over that edge rusher, even if that edge rusher is sick. So is Arnaud. Keontae Simmons here, going to be wearing number 22 for us. Forgot to mention that, Arnaud, this is the first year the NFL is allowing the number 0, so why not let our first pick in franchise history wear it? 86 hit power for him, 79 zone coverage, 78 pursuits. Pretty well-rounded safety, just like what I thought when we drafted him. That is exactly what he is. Can catch a bit as well. Injury at 89 and sound at 91 are pretty good as well. So really like what we did in the first round here. Now in the second round we got some normal devs, but I gotta tell you, despite the normal dev, I still like what we did here. Malik Vincent, 6'2", 77 man coverage, 78 zone, 89 jumping. I mean, we're getting good injury and stamina out of these guys as well. I think we've built the start of a really good defense here. Doug Odom, another guy, not 23 years old with only normal dev, is a little bit of an L. We're gonna need a breakout scenario for him for sure, but he's got the speed. His route running, obviously not a finished product, but not starting at a terrible spot. Agility and change of direction are insane. Juke moves really good. Kick return is awesome. Injury stamina, again, I think the lowest we've gotten out of those two ratings so far is 89 from Simmons' injury. That's going to change here, though, with Michael Jackson, who is hidden dev, 74 pass protector, already a good pass protecting player. Needs to work on the run game a ton. Obviously, lead block and impact block are pretty bad. Injury at 83, but 97 stamina is really good. Good athlete. Not great, but that's what we knew we were getting it with him. And of course, A+ name, Michael Jackson. Come on. We have Michael Jordan in the league playing the guard, and now we have a Michael Jackson in the league playing guard. Come on now. Christian Edwards, man, oh man, I really, really, really wish it was a normal dev, or there was a reliable way to upgrade lineman dev, because he is awesome. I love this player, but he's a normal dev offensive lineman, man. It's really unfortunate. Warren Owens up next here. He is, that 346-pound monster. Block shed at 71, power move 68. Finesse, we're probably not going to develop with him at all. He's 346 pounds. He's not trying to be a finesse rusher. Surprised it's not even lower, honestly. Speed, not great. His stamina 81 is not bad. It's actually better than I would have thought. Injury good as well. I really like this class, particularly defensively, man. And in Madden 23, both of our teams just had so much better offenses than defenses, but based on year one, it's going to be the other way around this year. Our defense had an awesome draft. Here's big boy Randy McCoy, 293-pound quarterback. He's terrible. He's so bad. He's so bad. Oh my goodness. Deep accuracy and play action is the only thing not in the 60s here. He has no speed. injury's low, but I don't know if it's like Madden 23, the quarterback's not going to get injured anyway. He is beefy, but he's got quite the flow, so who can be mad at him? Next up here, he's also 57 overall, where everyone else above that had been at least 70 overall. But, we ignore those things. Bobby Lambert moved him over to outside linebacker here. 78. Power moves off rip. You love it. You'd like to see more strength to accompany those power moves, but getting a guy that has some pass rush chops early is awesome. Injury stamina is excellent, as well as it has been with almost all of our prospects. Really love what we did for our defense here. Antoine Weber's going to come in at 68 overall normal. 76 man coverage is good, though. We definitely need to upgrade zone coverage. I'll talk more about the scheme I want to run in next episode, but just a quick glimpse. It's going to be a lot of man, so that's good, but it's not like we're not going to run any zone, right? So we need to develop it. Lucas Fowler, 77 overall. Is this like a generational fullback build? This guy's nuts. His injury's kind of low. He's got 87 trucking, 87 lead block. His speed is a little bit better. I'd try him at running back, honestly. Like he might be our goal line package running back, honestly. Might be a touchdown vulture machine in his career. I think that's 2 generational builds. I don't know if Simmons is generational. Maybe he is. I think Arnaud is definitely generational with all that speed on him and that hit power. And then I didn't update the drip on these last 2 guys or their look at all, but Mitch Jennings for us. He's gonna play. He's gonna be a stopgap guy. Both of these last guys are, but getting pretty good linemen here with on 4-year deals. I'm all for it here. Got both of our tackles here, and then so we got 4 of our 5 spots on the offensive line. How many of them are going to be our long-term offensive line? Like 1.5, right? Yeah, you wonder about Edwards. Even Michael Jackson, he's good, but he's going to require a lot of development. Offensively, not an excellent draft. We did get 2 hidden devs though with McCoy and Jackson. Defensively, I guess actually Fowler, but he's not a really full-time offensive player. Defensively, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 hidden dev players, and another guy 78 who's not included in that, right? And so really like this defensive draft. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the league though, see how everyone else did. So the Lions ended up trading up for this 74 overall guy. Normal dev, dude. That's a major L for these Lions. Major L. He's really athletic though. I just felt like even if you're an elite athlete, you got to be a little bit better of a block rate. Plus he's normal dev. Adkins, I also correctly predicted was overrated. Darren Poole though, overdrafted compared to his expectation, but not compared to his ability by any means. Awesome strength, awesome block shed. A little bit like undersized to play it, but in terms of his skill set, could have easily been our nose tackle. He's star dev. Let's talk about the QB1, somebody that I was willing to take, but he didn't want to come here. Dude, this guy looks thicker than our 290-pound quarterback. What's up with that? I mean, he's slow and he's immobile. Dude, the Raiders just drafted Jamarcus Russell again. Ah! My goodness. Although Lamb, I think, will be fine still. That's ridiculous. Some of these quarterback builds are thick AF. Winthrop was a guy I put on my board, but was never really going to draft. Maybe we should have. 81 finesse moves, 76 block shed. This is a really good edge rusher here. And these Seahawks and their recent drafts, man, building a potential juggernaut in this NFC in the future. He's just star dead. So the fact that we haven't seen any, players with abilities yet makes me feel really good. Will McClellan, normal dev. Absolute dub. Going Arnaud. Absolute dub. And then Chad Banks comes in with 81 overall. Again, I really liked him. I just knew that I was going to take the brother of the guy that we already had. Stamina's not great, but speed-wise, zone cut. Man, this guy's excellent. Chad Banks. What a pick by the Jaguars. Superstar dead. Let's go. I don't know why I'm pumped for the Jaguars there, but another 80 overall here. Youthsari, scared off by this guy's injury. That's why we didn't take him early. What is it? 35 injury? What? 35 injury? Oh my goodness. That's insane. He's insane too, but he's never gonna play. 35, that's unplayable. That's unplayable. I don't even care if this guy's an X Factor. Oh my gosh. 35 injury. He's an X Factor, but he has 35 injury. Wow. That is insane. Clay Bennett, a really good pass protecting guard here. Not a great athlete, but geez, the man can protect his quarterback. Which it looks like Arizona's sticking with Kyler Murray here. I can't blame him. Star dev for him. Goodness, that receiver's still blowing my mind, bro. Another guy that I wanted to look at here was the guy we decided not to take. Anthony McKee here, 73 overall. Hidden dev. Ooh, this guy's good. Saw that round 2 to 3. Oh, his injury is terrible though. Injury and stamina are in a really bad spot. Not nearly as bad as that receiver. Dude, that's... When they said injury prone player, I thought like, oh, you're gonna see in the 60s superstar. No. No. I screwed myself over by choosing to get him up to 100%, man. I really like this guy and I got him up to 100%. Thought he was overrated. Turns out probably wasn't. Blake Hill. This is another lineman I like a lot. He is hidden. Hidden going to the division. You love it. Let's see what dev tray. If he's superstar, that's going to be sadness inside of me. Just star. 71 overall is kind of low, to be honest, though, compared to what we're seeing with all these other players. Floyd Mackey, I liked as a zone corner. Hidden dev as well. 76 overall. Good player. Injury stamina are in an okay spot. Not great, but not awful either. Let's see with him. Star. Would have been a cool pick. You can't get every player you like in the draft, and that's just the way things are. But let's see who the best players in the draft were. So these guys both 2 over 80, but we got the 2 next. 3rd and 4th best players in the draft. Also the 6, so tied for 5th. So top 5 was tied with Bennett here. Although this guy had star and this guy had normal, so I would have argued this guy's actually 6, but whatever. Lucas Fowler also up there. Poole we already saw. Will Acosta, I don't think we looked at. 77 overall. Didn't think he was as good as the other corner, but he's just as good, and he's hidden dev. Don't think we could have traded up for him though, so not mad. I like the other corner better. He's just a better athlete. So plus the difference between star dev and normal isn't that much. It's not guaranteed to get a breakout scenario, but if you do, I mean, let's see, value picks here. 5th round guy. Oh, this is the guy we didn't draft, I think, right? 76, he is normal. Good athlete. Yeah, this is the guy for sure. Is all short route running. Good player for sure. The Bills definitely got a good slot receiver, and him playing with Josh Allen is gonna only make him that much better. I guess I shouldn't worry about fitting talents together at this point in the franchise, probably. Would have just taken him for sure because that's a really good pick. So that's a bit of a miss by me for sure. That's probably my biggest miss. The other guy I wanted to see, there's a couple of guards that I liked that went late second. One is Castle. He's a 73 hit in. So same caliber as the guy we ended up getting. Let's see if we miss a superstar though. These are the last guys I want to check out probably from this class. Then we'll check out our division and their classes as a whole, and we will be done with this episode. And then the other guy, did we miss out? Wasn't Mullins, is Rajon Shivers, only 71 overall here and normal. Sick. Very glad we didn't trade up for that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our division, starting here with the Cowboys. They got 75. Hidden Dev at safety to start the draft. All right, good start to the draft for Dallas, who won the division last year. They got superstar at safety. Starting to think Simmons is going to be a star because we've seen two safeties with dev traits higher than star. 73 corner, but only normal. Here in Dion Lindley. Decent speed on him, decent man coverage as well. And then their last guy over 70 was here, Cam Fowler, 73 overall. Hidden. He didn't meet my athletic, I guess, qualifications for me to read too much about him. I like the guard we picked better anyway, but this guy was also picked a little bit later, of course, in the third round. Star dev. So 2 star devs, 370 overall pluses for the Cowboys. Good class for them for sure. Next up, we've got the defending Super Bowl champions. The Cade Lowry hidden dev offensive tackle in the first round. Let's see what dev trait they got there. If it's superstar, okay, it's star. That'd be nutty. We've already seen Blake Hill. He's a 71 star dev. So 2 hidden dev linemen building in the trenches like they always do. Also Terry Sermon. Not very fast, 70 overall, but normal. So the Eagles got 4 players with 70 overall. Oh, this was the other pass rusher I wanted. It was the guy that we got and him. These are the 2 power rushers. Eagles got the other one. This guy was older, I think, right? The other guy's not 23, maybe not. I just felt better about our guy being hidden dev. They were both ended up being hidden dev. So 3 hidden devs, all stars, but 4 70 pluses for the Eagles. So no superstar development thus far. The Giants, who we had their first round pick this year, felt like they've had really good draft classes, and we gave them 3 players. So I felt like taking their first round pick wasn't the worst thing. But this draft class, not a very strong one from them. 270 overall pluses, but both of them were normal dev. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Next episode, I'll be filling out the roster with UDFAs. We'll be doing training camp, and we'll be watching some position battles play out in the preseason. Gonna show more condensed highlights of those games. But in terms of this episode, that's all I've got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Next episode probably coming out tomorrow, so tune in for that. That's all I've got for this episode. I'll be back soon with another, and I will see you then.